on, Ben here? What's going on, Ben here? We're back to everybody extinguished. What's going on? Breathing in here. Ben, we're talking quick motivation lesson. Oh, 3 entry points. Okay guys, it's been 3 days since my traposcopic appendectomy, which is, well, I'll show you. I just took off my bandages. Just took them off. Okay, it's day 3 in recovery. Well, you can see that very good. So, they put 1 incision here. The major incision's right here. As you can see, my stomach is extremely bloated still because they fill it with gas. So it's easier to see the appendix when they're in there working. The largest incision is right here. And the last incision is down here a bit. So I can't show you due to, I don't know, my video getting removed off YouTube because it's down a little lower. It's in this area, the last incision. So, see what they do is they pull out the appendix from where it was inflamed really bad right here, and they pulled it out through my belly button. So I made the mistake of watching a full video of the surgery that I got, and yeah, very invasive, very intrusive. They get right up in there. They have 3 different tools, and they're jabbing them into my stomach. They're really pushing them in there, and they're really cutting his stuff up in there. So they said it's a simple procedure. To me, it's quite interesting. Okay, so my recovery is going well. It's day 3. Hopefully I don't lose too much muscle mass over the next couple weeks. I can't work out anymore for a while. But recovery's going well. See you next time when I surgery on Tuesday. It is now Sunday. I'm recovering very well. As you can see, the bloating is finally gone down. My stomach has been like really, really bloated. There's little pain now. So it's a very simple surgery, so I don't know why I'm making such a big deal out of it. Anyways, I'm going to make this video. And I'm going to explain the story of why I got this done again, because I made a video the day after I got surgery, but I was so out of it. Like, I'll play a clip for it right now. What's going on, guys? As you can see, I'm in rough shape. I had an appendectomy yesterday. And now you see how out of it I was, so I'm going to re-explain the story much faster, get some grounds of why I got this and where it came from, and if you have the same pain, what you can look out for yourself. So Monday night, I finished work. I worked 2 to 10 p.m. shift as security. So I finished work, and all my shift, my stomach didn't feel very good. It was starting to become very problematic. Like, there was a dulling pain starting. So I got home, I drove home. It was about 11 p.m. I remember telling my sister that, oh man, my stomach really doesn't feel good today. And this has happened in the past before. I never knew what it was. I thought I just kept getting food poisoning. But it turns out that my appendix has been an issue for a long time. So thankfully we caught that. But anyways, I was feeling really ill, and I decided to eat a bagel because I thought some carbs or bread would fill up whatever was there, and that way maybe I could go to the bathroom and everything would feel better again. That's not the case. I ate, and as soon as I ate, about half an hour later, I felt horrendous, and I started throwing up, vomiting like crazy, like constant. So this went on for a while. I'm throwing up. I'm running outside my porch here. I'm throwing up in the garbage can. This is going on for a while. So I'm getting really sick. Obviously, I'm throwing up. I at this point, I'm like, oh man, maybe I have COVID or something. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's wrong. But I've had this stomach pain before. It's like a sharp, aching, nagging, constant, will not stop kind of pain. I worked all day long the day before, and then I come home and now I'm throwing up like crazy. So I go in the shower, I'm trying to ease the pain with the hot water on my body, and that's not working at all. I'm just throwing up in the shower. So I come back up here to my room and I just try to go to sleep. I'm like, oh, maybe if I can just go to sleep, then this will go away when I wake up. This pain won't be here when I wake up. Lie down. I'm trying to lie down. Every time I lie down in my bed, it's just excruciating. The stomach pain gets worse. You can't lie down. You can't do nothing. And then as soon as I lie down, about a minute later, I'd like take a little bit of water. That water would have to be thrown up again immediately. So exhausted. It's exhausting vomiting this much. So I'm doing that. So every time I vomit, I get back into bed and I can barely lie down. I just muster enough strength to just lie down again. And then, then the pain is excruciating to the point where like I'm making like groaning sounds, and it's like so unrelenting. It will not stop. So literally a couple more hours of this. The sun started to come up. I have to go to the hospital. Like, I never go to the hospital. So I go and tell my sister real quick so somebody has an idea of what's going on. And I drive to the hospital. That was horrible. That was horrific. I'm like leaning over my seat, like almost like passing out over the pain and the exhaustion, and going 100 kilometers down the road because I need to get this pain taken care of immediately. Anyways, I finally get to the hospital about 45 minutes later, and I park right up to the ER. I walk in the door, and they are not helping me immediately. They think I have COVID because I was throwing up and I have like a little bit of a fever. So they put me in an isolated room, and that really ticks me off. Like, I was not happy when I got there. So I'm like, please, people, please, like security and nurses, I need help now, please. Like, this is the worst pain I've ever been in my life. Like, what's your pain on a level of 1 to 10? I'm like 8 or 9. I've never felt this before. It's like I was like in my chair, like I couldn't even get the words out. The pain was so bad. They finally bring me in, finally, and then they hook me up to an IV right away, and they start doing a morphine drop. So finally, some sort of relief, something. Like, it still wasn't perfect, but I was so exhausted, and the pain started finally going away a little bit that I just passed out. And then I was in and out of consciousness for a couple of hours. And then eventually the doctor came in and started pushing on it to see what was wrong, and it hurt so bad. And he's like, okay, well, where I'm pushing it hurts the most is where your appendix is. So we're going to bring you in for a CAT scan. So I've never had a CAT scan, so that was interesting. So they bring me in for a CAT scan. And that's the big machine tunnel thing that you go back and forth through. So I go in through there, I come out, they bring me back to the room I was in before. I'm just laying there, hooked up to all the IVs, and then the surgeon comes in and he tells me that it's quite obvious due to the CAT scans that he's reviewed that I have a very inflamed appendix. Like my appendix is definitely my appendix. Something's wrong. So, due to my past experiences and history of having this horrific stomach pain, it's best to just get rid of the appendix. You can either give you antibiotics or you can do surgery. So what they were deciding to do was to give me a traposcopic appendectomy, which is when they do 3 incisions, one here in my groin, and then 2 here, and they like shove them in there, and then they cut off the appendix and pull it out through your belly button, through this hole that I have in my belly button right here now. That's where they pull it out from. So I went into so I had to wait a couple of hours for the regular surgeries of the day to be done, the ones that were scheduled, and then so they were just like pumping me with pain reliever, and then I finally was told it's time to go for my surgery. So they put the hairnet on. It's just like a movie. It's just like what you see in a movie. Put the hairnet on. I'm on a stretcher. I'm in a gown. And they wheel me into this room with a whole bunch of machinery, big freaking things. And then they hook me up to all the monitors and everything. And the anesthesiologist came over and was talking to me about, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. So everyone's getting ready. There's like a team of like 10 of them. It was pretty cool. It's pretty surreal. A lot of people are scared when they think they're going into surgery, but this wasn't like horrific surgery, because people get like crazy brain surgery, open heart surgery. This is nothing like that, so I'm not even that scared. So they bring me in, and they put the mask on me. They're like, yeah, just deep breaths, breathe that in. And then I remember him saying, okay, here's the cocktail you've been waiting for. And then he turned something, I heard a hose turn on or something. And then that's it. I woke up. It was that quick. I woke up, and then there's 2 nurses standing on each side of me like, oh, hey, how you doing? And I'm just talking a bunch of nonsense because I just came out of anesthesia. And that's about it. That's the most entertaining thing. So they take me to a recovery room. I literally passed back out for 2 hours. I literally just fell asleep again for 2 hours. That's how it goes when you're on anesthesia and all those different drugs. And my sister picked me up. We got released because I'm young, healthy, and good to go. It wasn't horrific. The surgery went well, and I went home.